The cheapest one Bunnings has, but let's give it a crack. How good is having a hoist?
It is amazing.
We've been on the hoist for 10 minutes. We found a gearbox leak and a tail shaft bearing's gone. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60. I am here with David, who you've all seen before, and hopefully you've seen Dylan before. He is another avid 335 owner, and he lets me play with his car, probably a bit too much. But he's actually come to help us today because you're a proper tradesman.
Yep.
He knows how to use tools, and he's even got a certificate to show it, unlike me and Dave. But we're going to use Dylan to help us install the HAPP hoist, which has been sitting there for nearly 2 weeks, unfortunately.
It's sad. It's just, if you've been watching the other videos, it's not been a straightforward process to actually fit it in this shed, or able to get a car in and out the roller door anyway.
Yeah, I guess we should probably explain what the dilemma has been. So guys, we have the car where we're going to put the hoist at the moment. Now this shed is actually quite a small height, isn't it? It's 2.7 at the eaves, and it goes up to I think about 3.6 or 3.7 at the very top. And we knew it was going to be tight to get a car in, but what we didn't account for was how the arms come back along the hoist. So that limits the angle or the point at which you can start rotating the car to get out the door. Now this door here is the only door in the shed. And actually to get the car out of there, you've actually got to come at quite a steep angle. Now we did it with my 3 Series, your 5 Series.
And it was so close. It was so close between, because you can't turn until you clear of the things, and then the door is literally just the width of the car.
It was doable, but it was way tighter than what we were hoping. And we still want to, maybe we could have put the hoist over there a little bit further, not had as much height, but then we wouldn't be able to film as easy. So long story short, we're putting another door in. We're going to put another door in here. And what that does is significantly reduce the angle that the car needs to turn to get out the door. And yeah, well, our main concern was our father's 7 Series, which is a gigantic car.
And as it's a BMW, we will certainly most have to work on it.
And yeah, I don't think, even with jacks and quick jacks, it would have been tight to get it on there. Now, Dylan's helped us lay it out where it is right now, and I think this is going to be perfect.
Good enough.
Yeah, the Evo is obviously quite a small car. It's got a smaller footprint than my E92, but it has got a much worse lock. It's actually harder to get in and on the hoist than the E92. So from this point, I guess we better show them exactly what we've done here. Now, HAPP's instructions are brilliant for installing a hoist. They've really targeted the home guy with that. I don't know if people should be installing hoists at home, but it's very, very easy instructions, and they make it very clear and simple. Now what we've done is use their measurements to measure exactly where the center of these arm points are against this base plate that goes across the bottom on both sides. So when the posts are actually installed, this is exactly where they're going to sit. So we know how much angle we've got and how much we can turn the car, and we're pretty happy with it. It's tight getting out the door at the moment, but we will still be able to get out of the side door, but it's going to be super easy to get out the new door once that goes in the next couple of weeks. So guys, are you ready to start drilling some holes?
Dylan's already got his bits out.
He's always getting his bits out. All right, I guess what we need to do is maybe get the Evo out and stand the posts up.
You don't want to stand him up while the Evo's still there?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
It'll be easy.
We unloaded them off the trailer, just me and David, and they are about 300 kilos each.
Nearly lost a foot at one point.
All right, yeah, well, let's get this thing out and get the post stood up. All right, guys, well, we got the Evo out, and it's crazy how big this feels when you don't have a car in. You would think you would easily position the hoist and be able to get in and out, but it is genuinely tight. And hopefully you saw in that time lapse, like you still have to shunt to get it out of that door. But you can do it, and it's going to be fine here until that door goes in next week. But guys, is it a matter of moving the posts over?
And taping them on?
Just,
yeah.
That is extra sticky tape, isn't it?
That's what the instruction says, yes.
Just sticky tape the hoist down. Okay, so we've got the 2 posts stood up, as you should have seen in the time lapse, and basically what we've got to do now is make sure that they are definitely straight up and down, and also square to each other. So the first one we're going to check is that they are perfectly in line, and we're using a laser level. These things are brilliant. I've never actually used one until today, but Dylan is showing me how to use it. And you can see we've got it perfectly in line along there. So if the hoists are properly seated on the ground, it should line up with this bit here. However, it doesn't. So you can see we are about an inch out on the angles. So we've got to get that sorted first, which is more pivoting.
Yep.
But I guess I'll tell them now, but once we've got them perfectly in line that way, we need to make sure that they are perfectly the right width apart, and then basically make sure they're standing upright. And I think HAPP provided us with some shims, didn't they?
Yep.
To make sure they're standing upright. All right, well, let's get on with that, and we'll show you guys once we've got them perfectly lined up, ready to drill. So just say we've made one quick adjustment, and now we have perfect alignment in line that way. How do we check the angles?
We use this level. See if we're square. A little bit over.
Okay. Not quite that way.
It's pretty close there.
Yep. And check that axis as well. So we should be able to fix that with shims, shouldn't we?
Yeah, with spaces under the bottom, and lift it up and get it right, and then we can bolt it down.
How's this one looking?
This one's pretty good from memory.
Yeah, that one's pretty much perfect, huh? Okay. And then on that axis,
Pretty bang on.
so this hoist, this side's nearly perfect, but that one's going to need some shims. I guess, do you reckon put the shims in before we start drilling, or drill first?
No, let's get it dead square, and then we can start drilling.
Okay.
Set.
Okay, so it's come time to drill the first hole. We went for the 2-blade drill bit, so it's the cheapest one Bunnings has, but let's give it a crack. I fitted the drill bit to the drill. Sorry about that. Not a tradesman.
Just need it back and we'll clean that out and go again. Cool.
Actually, I should have mentioned it before we started drilling, but we've marked 120mm on the drill bit, which is to the tape there. So that actually does need to get down to the concrete. So we need to get that much penetration, which is more than enough, if you ask me, into the concrete. That was a joke. Sorry. Anyway, third go, and that should be done for that hole. That one's in, and we're just going to locate it in place so that the hoist pole definitely doesn't move as we do the other ones, but we're not going to actually fasten it yet. So basically just tap it down so it's got a location.
Yep.
Good to go.
Perfect.
You happy with that? On to the next one?
Perfect. Let's do that.
All right, guys. Now we've actually got the 6 holes drilled, but we haven't put the bolts in yet. We're just using them to locate the post exactly where we want it. Now this was the post that was leaning in a very little bit, and we'll just double check it. Sorry, leaning out. No, leaning in. Leaning out.
Just need to lean it in 2mm, so we'll use spaces on that backside edge.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting confused. But HAPP supply, with their wonderful kits, these shims, and they've got 2 different thicknesses. These ones are around just under 2mm, and then we've got slightly thinner ones here. So we're going to try with these ones on this back edge, and then just check the level again. Okay, so moment of truth, we've got the 4 shims. GoPro's probably not picking it up, but we've got 4 shims under each of those bolts. Actually, you can see that one there. And how do we go?
Oh, nearly there.
Pretty much perfect. I'd say that's close enough. That's nearly as good as the other one. What do you reckon? Leave it at that?
Looking pretty good. Put
still
some on the other side, bring it
need to make an adjustment on that one.
on this side, tip it over a mil.
So it needs a spacer. All right.
I think it needs it on this side. Check that.
So got that one in there. And
Needs another mil, or is it good?
that's with the bubble is within the thing. What do you reckon?
let's put one more in.
Got another one? Use one of those half-size ones. Push. Oh god, it's getting a bit heavy.
Okay.
That needed a lot more force to angle it. Which is pretty good. And should we make sure we haven't messed up this one? That one's even better now.
Bang on.
Cool. So that post is now as level as the other post. So is it ready to hammer the bolts in and tighten her up?
Certainly is. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's bang him in and tighten it up.
And just something else we did off camera, we actually, because we put a spacer in there, we needed to put another spacer in this corner, but now everything's pretty tight and ready to be bolted down. So you just got to hammer it. I reckon that'll do.
A bit more.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Sweet. So I got a bit excited and I've started clamping it down. Just using a 30mm socket on a ratchet for now, but the proper torque that needs to go on them is 80 Newton meters. You can feel it. The bolts start to move quite freely and then you can feel them tension up, which is quite reassuring. So it's freely and then it tensions. And they tension. Okay, so we have both sides of the hoist bolted down with the Dynabolts. It all went really easy apart from two Dynabolts on this side. There were actually some Rio that we had to bust through, and I think it's just hollowed out the holes a little bit, so these bolts tightened a little bit further up. But aside from that, everything all went the same. Now we've just lifted these arm pieces up. They are on a safety catch, which is just that there, although I'm still nervous to go underneath them. And from this point, it's a matter of making sure the cylinders are definitely located in the locating pins at the bottom. And then we've got to get the cables through. So let's get on with that one. Alright guys, well I want to give you a quick update because we've done a few things since I got the camera out. We have mounted the motor to the master post and we've also had to rotate the tank round 90 degrees. When it come out of the box, this little bung actually sticks out, and with the foot savers or whatever they're called that stick out from the main arms, they can catch that bung. So that has been removed. We've connected the hydraulic line across to connect the both rams, and also the hydraulic line that comes out of here and up into the hoist. And while I was doing that, also mounted the spacer plate brackets, and there's one of those on both posts, and that's obviously if you're working on a four-wheel drive, you can raise the base point of the hoist. From that point, we then connected the balance cables. The balance cables, hopefully you can see here, but you've got one that locks in there, goes down to the bottom of the hoist, round this pulley. These pulleys, I didn't actually realise at first, we messed around for a little bit, but they have a angled section that you need to get round in the right position, which lets you slide the cable under the pulley. Cable goes along the other side and then actually hooks around here. So what will basically happen, if only one ram is doing the work, the cable that loops around the other side will actually pull the other one up. So it's a clever little balancing system. And of course these are just locked in on the safety latch here. They do seem like they weigh about 4,000 kilos, but they are latched on the safety. So from this, I need to fit the balance switch, sorry, not the balance, I need to fit the safety or top out switch in, which goes onto the screw holes up there. So I'll get that done. I'll give you an update once it's in place. Okay guys, so quick update. We have the limit switch conduit coming up through there, and it just goes up into the top of the hoist. And that obviously just triggers and turns the motor off if, well, when you max it out. That, just so you know, I'll get rid of that light. That comes out the hoist there and just into the box. And Dylan has been hard at work whilst we've had the camera off, actually wiring the hoist in. So when we actually moved into this shed, the guy that owns the property, he said that it was provisioned when he built the shed for the hoist. So we actually already had a breaker set up for the electrical circuit. We just had to move it. He was going to put the hoist right in the very end bay, so we just had to move the wiring in a little bit, but that's actually all done. So that means with the arms on, we've just had a bit of a quick tidy up. She's about ready to put a car on and I guess set up these balancing cables. So we'll get onto that. Once we've worked out how to do it, we'll let you know. so part of getting this to all work properly, you have to level out the balancing cables. I hope you can see this all right. But on each side we've got this adjustable part here, and you need to get tension on, well, when you do this one up it tensions the cable on the other side, and when you do the nut up on the other side it tensions this cable. So we've got about 20 mil of play on each cable, and I say that because that's what it says in the HAPP instruction manual, but we have also tested it and we know that it works.
It's level.
All right, Dave, I might let you do the honours.
Demo?
Shall I give you the light? And we'll show them how level the hoist is. Yeah, the thing with levelling it is making sure that it raises and drops both sides at the same time.
Ready?
Go for it. It's going good. Actually, do you want to go just up past the first safety and then we'll
Click it in.
let it on? Yeah. I think it's about another 5 centimeters, I think. There it is.
There she is.
And lower it onto the safety. And it goes pretty level.
Flat as.
I think we've done it.
I like it already.
Well, guys, the HAPP hoist is all installed. It wasn't too bad, was it?
It's pretty easy.
I think this is the first one we've done, and we're actually, the business was operating today, so we couldn't spend full time on it. And actually, you disappeared for about 4 hours as well.
Yeah.
He's also got a job. So it wasn't too bad. I think if you know what you're doing, you should be able to knock this over in sort of 4 to 6 hours, and that would be taking your time. It was all pretty straightforward. If you are doing this yourself, do you have any questions, just let us know.
Yeah, I was impressed with how sort of fail-safey it is. So I'm pretty confident that although we have installed this, the Evo's not going to fall off.
That's it. There's going to be a few more videos on the hoist to come. Silly things, well not silly things, but basic things like how to put a car on a hoist safely, why you have to put them around a certain way, and weight distribution, all that sort of stuff. Dill, have you got any thoughts about it? Dill did all the electrical work.
It's a pretty easy process. It was a lot easier than I anticipated. Much easier.
It's your first hoist though, you've done a lot of electrical work.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, straightforward, not too hard.
Alright guys, look, thank you very much for watching, really appreciate it. Thanks HAPP for actually making a decent product and selling it in Queensland. That's what we like to see, more local businesses.
And thanks, Dill, for giving us a hand.
Welcome, anytime.
Peace. Oh wow, this is leaking oil. And I wonder what it is that you can hear clunking when you drop the clutch. How good is having a hoist?
It is amazing. Yeah, it could be this mount, some fractures in it.
No, engine mount. Never even been able to see this part of this car.
You can put it on axle stands and crawl under it and you still can't see properly.
Oh,
now you just check everything out.
It's amazing.